Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Today we're going to study lesson number 2. The topic here is about elements, or you can say that what are elements, find element. So the question is here in front of you. What is an element? When you're going to ask this question, then you need to read about this first. Some substances cannot be broken down into anything simpler. For example, this is because all the atoms in them are the same types. For example, you can see here this, the iron. When you're going to break it down, you can only get again after Fe in the end. Iron everywhere. From wherever you're going to get it, you will take this. This page number 22, my dear. So elements contain only one type of atom. So what is an element? You can say that elements contain only one type of atom. You might remember from page 20 that there are 92. Keep it in your mind. There are 92 different types of atoms found naturally on the earth. Keep it in your mind. Very important point. So there are 92 different types of atoms that found naturally on the earth. About 20 other. This also very important figure. 20 other have been made artificially. You can say that are prepared or made artificially by scientists. So till here, my dear students, if you have any question, please raise your hand, otherwise type no. Everyone? Okay, that's great. Everyone should type. Okay, that's great. Okay, well done. Now, after that, I'm going to share the screen with you. The student, they just joined the meeting. Thank you, Usama. I'm going to send the link. So when you open this link, the window will pop up in front of you is the same that just I share with you. Okay. So let's see what is an element. So when you're going to read, an element contain only one type of atom. An element contain only one type of atoms. Very easy definition. An element is pure substance. Second, when you're going to ask what is an element, in which all atoms have same number of protons. You know very well. In which all atoms have same number of protons. What it means? It means that the number of proton, or we name as atomic number, like here, the hydrogen atomic number is 1, helium atomic number is 2, same like lithium atomic number is 3. So you easily understand about them. When you're going to see an element in which all the atoms, they have same atomic number. So you can easily understand from here the definition of an element. Now, little bit move down. Here, the periodic table in front of you. So you can see different atoms, they form or make substances in which atoms have the same number of protons or something that is pure. An element cannot be broken using by chemical means. You can't break the element into the small pieces by a simple chemical means. So let's move to the next part of this topic, that is about, in the early age, only 9 elements. If you remember, 9 elements: carbon, gold, silver, tin, mercury, lead, copper, iron, and sulfur were known. Before a time, or you can say that before the creation of this periodic table, in the early age, only 9 elements were known. Okay, these are here. At that time, it was considered that elements are the substances that could not be broken down into simpler units by ordinary chemical processes. So that time they think that until the end of 19th century, 63 elements has been discovered. Now 118 elements have been discovered. You know very well how these are 118, out of which 92 are naturally occurring elements. Modern definition of element is that. So please hear this definition carefully and be attentive. What is the modern definition of element? Is that it is a substance made up of same type of atoms having same atomic number. Understand? And cannot be decomposed into simple substances by ordinary chemical means. So that is the new or modern definition. If you have any question till here, please, my dear student, raise your hand. Otherwise, type no in the chat. Then I move next. Hurry up. Great. Okay. Well done. Yes, Mr. Ziyad. Abu Bakr. Now, after that, you throw down your hand. Okay. Thank you, Abu Bakr. Well done, Ziyad. Okay. That's great. Everyone should participate in the response. Okay. Basil. Yes, Mr. Basil. Yes, Basil. Basil, you can ask.
Mister.
Yes, my dear.
I don't understand this so much. Can you again, please?
Yeah, I will repeat again. No problem. Just stay with me. Okay. Come back to your textbook again, please. Okay, here, what is an element? The definition is mentioned here. That is in front of you. Elements contain only one type of atoms. You can see here, iron is an element. Okay. So in it, you all have the atom of iron. Chlorine is an element. Okay. So this Cl is present here. Understand? Total number of atoms are 92, but they are found naturally on the earth. There are about 20 other that have artificially prepared, you can say that, from scientists. So please come back to your textbook. After that, I'm going to take you on the screen. Here, you can see this one, the link here in front of you, where we define and understand about it in detail. So please try to understand the last part that I'm going to explain. Listen carefully. Elements occur in nature in free or combined form. What it means? They are free, or maybe they join or make bond, or in combined form. Okay. All the naturally occurring elements found in the world have different percentage in the earth crust, oceans, and atmosphere. You know, we have three things. Number, if you're going to find something, maybe that is present in the ocean, that is maybe found in the earth crust, or in the atmosphere. If solid, then in the earth crust. If liquid, then in the ocean. Or if in the form of gas, then in atmosphere. Understand? So in earth crust, solid state; in ocean, liquid state; and in atmosphere as gaseous state. Table shows natural occurrence in percentage by weight of some major elements around us, like the concentration of these major elements found in the three main systems of our environment. What are these? Number one, oxygen. When you're going to see oxygen in earth crust, that is 47%. But when you move from earth crust to ocean, that is 86%. But in atmosphere, in gaseous state, that is present 21%. Okay. Now silicon in earth crust, 28%. Here, hydrogen in ocean, 11%. And nitrogen in atmosphere, 78%. Aluminum, 7.8% in earth crust. Chlorine, 1.8% in ocean. And argon, 0.9% in the atmosphere. So these are their percentage by concentration in different states, in different parts of the environment, like earth crust, ocean, and atmosphere. Now, please, everyone, you need to open your textbook, page number 22. The student that just joined us, so you know very well about the elements. After understanding elements, you can see here the examples and different types of elements. Now, the second topic of the day, that is about the compounds. So please concentrate. I'm going to explain you and we will discuss in detail about compounds. What are compounds? There are only 92 elements in the nature. We know very well, or naturally occurring. And therefore 92 different types of atoms. Yeah, if we have 92 elements, it means we have 92 atoms, because each atom that comes from the earth, they have, if in a pure form, they give the same type of element. Or you can say that in an element we have pure atoms. However, there are millions of different substances after that, but we can also find millions of different types of substances. So as you can imagine, most substances must be made from more than one element. Yeah, if one element or one atom combine or join with other, they're going to give different types of substances. They must contain more than one type of atoms. So the substances are called compounds. These kinds of substances that form with the combination of different types of elements or from the different types of atoms, they form compounds. So let's see the definition of a compound in detail. So everyone, please be attentive. Compounds contain two or more types of atoms. Two or more types of atoms, when they join, chemically bonded together, we name that is a compound. So about the compound, my dear students, if you have any question, please raise your hand. Otherwise, type no in the chat. Everyone quickly. Well done. Very nice. Excellent. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Very well done. Okay, Yunus. Thanks. Okay, Hassan. Okay, welcome. Welcome, my dear. Okay, now let's go to the next about the example here that going to tell us in detail the example of compounds. Many of us use gas to cook with or to heat our homes. You know, in kitchen, in the cylinder, or if you have natural gas, we use gas to cook food. And also sometimes we use heaters to make our homes in winter to make it hot. This gas is made up mainly of a compound called methane. What is a methane? Methane is a gas that we basically use in our cylinder for the cooking purposes. Its formula is CH4. What is CH4? C represent here carbon, okay, and H represent here hydrogen. So that's the reason its chemical formula is CH4. Now it is made from one carbon atom. You can see here this one carbon, it's make bond with 4 different hydrogen atoms like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and 4 hydrogen atoms bonded together. So there are 2 elements in methane, carbon and hydrogen. 1 carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms. Look back to the table on page 21. You know very well, and that is your also assignment. You can give the answer of these 2 questions. Question number 1 is this: which substance are elements? and which substances are compounds. So that you send me the answer, or you just understand them from page number 21. A molecule of methane, a compound. Okay, if you can say CH4, that is a molecule, and here you also name it is a compound, because in this compound we see different elements, their atoms join with one another or making chemical bonds. So till here, my dear student, any question, please raise your hand. Otherwise, type no. Good. Thank you very much. Excellent, my dear. Well done. Very nice. Okay. After that, we move to an experiment number 2.3. Making a compound. In this experiment, you can look at the difference between a compound and elements. Now we are going to prepare or make a compound. How we can make it, okay? So the difference between compound and element. So it is made from, you have here iron. What does it mean? Fe. That is the symbol of iron, and sulfur, its symbol is S. Okay. So we're going to make a compound. What we need to do? Let's see the steps here. Number one, collect a spatula, just like you can say that this rod, it's make a spatula like a spoon. Collect a spatula of iron filling on a piece of paper. Describe what it look like. When you're going to see, you know that how it's look like. After that, collect a spatula of sulfur powder, that is here. You also take, then what you need to do? Mix the iron and sulfur. You just mix them together with a spatula. This is called a mixture. So here you can hear about another definition. Here a mixture that you get here. All these two substances that you mixed, they are not mixed with one another by chemically. Okay. If they join or mix with one another chemically, then you can call it as a compound. You just mix them here physically. So you name this thing or this substance as a mixture. Use a hand lens to look closely at your mixture. What does the mixture look like? It's just look like a mixing of these two types of substances, or iron and sulfur. How could you separate the iron and sulfur? Yes, it's very easy. You can easily separate them with the help of a magnet. When you move the magnet in this powder mixture, the iron, you know that is magnetic. It will attach to the magnet, and then you can easily separate the mixture from sulfur and iron. Iron can get out from it. Can you think the two ways? So you need to find one, I tell you, and second you need to find. If you have time, try out your ideas. So that you need to do with yourself. Now, part C, put your mixture into a small test tube. That is a test tube, my dear students. What we call this? That is your test tube. Heat it strongly in a fume cupboard. So here you heat it. Just a minute, let me move a little bit down so you can see all the page well. Okay, till here, till point B. If you have any question, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, type no, then we move to the next part. Hurry up. Okay, well done. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. Put your, yeah, we've done it in detail. Okay, thank you. Heat it strongly. Take care to keep your flame away from the mouth of the tube. Look, this tube, be careful when you're going to start heating. It will not come towards you. Be careful. If sulfur catches fire, toxic sulfur dioxide gas is given off. So also avoid the mouth, that will not take the fire. If the fumes of the sulfur will come near it, it will catch fire and it is toxic. stop heating once the reaction started. How the reaction is going on? Let's see. Give your test tube to your teacher. When it has cooled down, your teacher can wrap the tube in a cloth and crack it carefully to get your new compound. What mentioned here? To get new compound. Very important point. Before we called this one as a mixture. Now what we called it? We called it compound. Now you can see here, when both iron and sulfur will mixed with one another, they comes in a liquid form and you can't separate them and you can't distinguish between them. So that is the reason, or we called, because iron and sulfur react chemically and we name them as a compound. What are the difference between the mixture of iron and sulfur and the new compound you have made your assignment? Okay, try to find the answer of this question. After that, I will explain you in detail again. The compound made from the elements iron, that is number 1, and sulfur is called iron sulfide. The name of the compound that we prepared from iron and sulfur, what we give name as iron sulfide. The reaction can be shown by the word equation. Here we have the word equation. Here, the left-hand side that shows you reactants. How many reactants we have here? 2 reactants. One is iron and second is sulfur. And that is the product that we get, iron sulfide, that is our product. The things that we started with before the reaction are called reactants. These things that we have before, what we call them? Reactants. Okay, my dear? The substances made in reaction are called products. What we call them? Products. Here you can see at your right-hand side in the equation. So till here, my dear students, about this equation, if you have any question, please raise your hand. Otherwise, type no in the chat. Everyone quickly. Hurry up, my dear. That's great. Excellent. Well done. Okay. Thank you very much, my dear. That's okay. Well done. Now, let's see the last part of today's lesson. Notice how sulfur changed to sulfide. If you remember what we wrote here before sulfur. But when we going to write its name in the product form or in a compound form, we write here sulfide. Be careful. Look, here it is sulfur. And here we mention as sulfide. If a compound's name ends in IDE, it's usually show that an element is bonded to one other element. Okay, it's mostly happen like this. If you saw here IDE, like in sulfide, it means the element is bonded to one other element. That's the reason we write here sulfide. For example, magnesium, MgO, magnesium oxide, IDE. It means magnesium is combined with oxygen, MgO, oxygen, or calcium chloride, Ca, that represent calcium, and Cl2 mean chloride. Here it's put in the brackets. Hydroxide are an exception. It's also mentioned here. The hydroxides are just as an exception. We're not going to take them in this detail. Sodium hydroxide, NaOH, is sodium hydroxide. Here you have more than 2 elements. Total 3, because you have sodium, Na1, second is oxygen, O, third is hydrogen. So we just put the name of sodium hydroxide or hydroxide as exceptions. Okay, if compound's name ends in ATE, then oxygen is present in the compound. Keep it in your mind. if a compound's name ends with ATE, it means oxygen is present in this compound. For example, copper sulfate, Cu, copper, S, sulfur, and O for oxygen. That's the reason its name is copper sulfate. Now, the second example here, silver nitrate, Ag, silver, N, nitrogen, and O, oxygen, silver nitrate. So these are the examples. Till here, my dear students, if you have any question, please raise your hand. Otherwise, type no in the chat. Everyone. Okay, that's good. Excellent. Thank you very much. I want everyone, not from only one. That's good. That's good.